Trick or Treat is a 2007, I believe, anthology horror film directed by Michael Dougherty, who I would believe would go on to do Krampus, or at least Godzilla King of Monsters, like direct it. I don't know why people say like, oh, for like directors, they would go on to do this movie. Like, not really. I mean, they're the director, but wouldn't the writer be the one who did it? Because like they wrote it. There would be no movie without them. But whatever. Point is, Trick or Treat is an amazing anthology horror film about four tales of terror, all happening around the same time. So it's not like they're constantly cutting back. Like they let usually one play out most of it before coming back to the other through time, cutting back and forth through time kind of, so it's not really chronological, which I like. Um, but yeah, four tales of terror happening in Halloween. And I found the budget because originally I didn't see what the budget was, and it's 12 million, but I don't think you can find the box office. So usually probably didn't make that much money. Apparently didn't get a theatrical release. Although when I looked up the box office for Open War 3K Shot after not seeing it, it comes up every time. It's about $650,000. I think that's actually the budget movie in American dollars, but the movie's made on Australian, so it's probably more money because that's the whole thing. Australians just everything being bigger or just Australian. But then again, that's also kind of America's thing, more like everything being fat and obese. But whatever. Maybe it's compensation for lack of intelligence, but at the same time, I don't want to just play with stereotypes. But it's kind of true. But whatever. You know what? We're not gonna spend too much time on that. It's a great movie. I suggest you watch it. But yeah, maybe even before the shoot, just pause it and go watch it, or maybe watch it after. I mean, it's not really gonna ruin it because I kind of knew what happens. I saw the kill count and I still enjoyed it. So by the way, let's get on with the movie. So the film begins with a couple. The lady seeming to really dislike the holiday and blows out a pumpkin, which turns out to be bad as some unforeseen killer goes into her front yard, kills her in some sheets, in a really well done opening that's really suspenseful, not too over the top with goriness, but not tame or anything. Like it hits the sweet spot. It's like the middle. It's gory but not over the top. We then see this kid spying on four girls dressing in a really perfect way, and also the kid's super young, so that's not great. Apparently, he's played by the actor who plays Sam, so that's interesting. We see it later on. They all get into costumes for their tradition and invite this worker in the shop to meet them in Sheep's Meadow in like 45 minutes. But enough of that as we get to Fatty McFatterson fuckface. Okay, you know what? It's not nice to judge people because they're fat. Okay, you know what? Let's see how he acts as a human being, and then I'll judge him after, okay? Fuck you, bitch. You're gonna gulp down some of the pumpkins after you desecrate them, you fucking asshole. You at least eat up, bitch. So there's not that much of a mess to clean up, you fucking whore. I'm going all out. But, yeah, he gets stopped by a man named Stephen Wilkins. I believe he's like a principal. I actually don't know where I got that. I think I just made that up in my head. But he gets stopped by this man named Stephen Wilkins, who tries to talk to the kid, but that happens with some really nasty sound design. Are you done, movie? That's what I thought. Oh, fuck off, editor. You're just torturing us at this point. Us, by that I mean me and the audience. If anyone's actually seeing this part. Literally disgusting. I had to rewatch this multiple times just to do this old joke or edit in. Disgusting. He takes Fatty inside but is interrupted by some trick-or-treaters, as well as Sam, who we'll be seeing later, so don't forget. As if you could ever forget his unique character design, and I'm not being sarcastic with that, I actually quite like it. Fucking hell. Sorry. We meet back with the four girls, three of which leave off with some guys. I'm laughing because I had to do this like 5 times. But one who's named Lori, the others are named Daniel, Maria, and Jeanette. Lori seems to be having problems attracting some guys. Don't worry, Lori. As long as you're not a werewolf, you'll have no problems. Which you aren't. Yeah.
Fix it! It stinks like a dead whore out here.
As if you could even attract one.
Pumpkin. Daddy, I want to go to the parade. Daddy, I wish Mommy was still alive.
Oh, something tells me you had something to do with that last one. He brings his son down and strikes him with a knife, except just kidding, because he was stacking it to the fatty's head and then continued to carve his head like a pumpkin. We see these kids collecting jack-o'-lanterns for this whole thing, and meet this girl named Rhonda, who this kid named Schrader talks to and I guess charms her, I guess. Cut to this couple making out, but the guy gets a little kinky. Well, not kinky, violent, as he fucking bites her. And kills her in broad day, or night light, like, in front of everyone. But it doesn't make people run away or call the cops because, you know, people on Halloween, they dress up with blood and stuff, and they just think she's drunk. Okay, cool now, but what the fuck is that? And who the fuck is this? The result of a one-night stand between a human and a giraffe? What the hell? Okay. Oh, okay. We see in a flashback a group of troubled kids being sent to a quarry to die, but one kid wants to go home and tries to drive the bus. That's not home. That's death. But, whatever suits you, whatever floats your boater, floats the bus that doesn't come back up because they fucking die. But whatever floats, whatever. Not the bus, because it goes down. But the driver, Mr. Krieg, survives, and he's the dude who said it smelled like a dead horror earlier. Also, it turns out the dead kids are in fact zombies. It's all the kids besides Rhonda die, but she is a Halloween spirit and jack-o'-lanterns lit, so she leaves. And she left some jack-o'-lanterns on as well, in case. Forgot that. I already said that, but I wrote on my script because I'm fucking stupid, and I'm recording this at like 69 o'clock at night. Anyway, she sees Sam, and we cut to the three girls besides Laura. You see her costume drop down. Well, her costume, like the little Red Riding Hood thing with someone in it, drop down, and check it out. Only to have the dude who killed that lady in front of everyone, who's, holy shit, Stephen Wilkins. Oh my god, he's a fucking like human vampire, except not really because the teeth are fake. But I guess he kind of is because he still bites people. But yeah, and also was just in time to see these ladies become werewolves, or I guess reveal themselves to become werewolves. I don't know if they were just like transitioning from being a werewolf or whatever the point is. Yeah, they become werewolves. And Sam is here too. Probably not good for your development, but he's a killer kind of, as we see later on. Got back to earlier where we see some kids saying trick or treat, but getting chased out by a horrifying monster who turns out to just be Mr. Krieg's puppy. Mr. Krieg was a bus driver, like I said, who survived, and we could earlier see being attacked after Steven got rid of the body, which is pretty cool and shows all the crazy stuff happening all throughout this time in no specific time. Again, isn't really chronological. Yeah, and also beginning they showed like a comic book version that lady's death died, you know, with the throat slit and the sheets. So that's kind of cool, the whole style. Like love comic book stuff like that done right. We actually seen interaction Mr. Krieg and Steven had earlier before Steven, you know, died. But yeah, we see the interaction from Mr. Krieg's POV as earlier we saw from Steven's, mostly somewhere in some classic like actual cinema shots, not from his POV, but still mostly his POV. Krieg gets stabbed by Sam, and they have a pretty cool fight, and Sam's mask gets taken off and reveals his face, which I can only describe as if E.T. was coked out and had a baby with Yoda and General Grievous and like fucking ripped his eyelids out. Yeah, some nasty shit. Yeah. Sam comes back after his hand, well, gets detached and helps him, and now looks like a rejected version of Glenda from Seed of Chucky, which in itself is probably a rejected idea for Chucky itself, so, No, bad. Bad. Yeah. Sam is just about to stab Mr. Krieg when it turns out he was just stabbing a candy bar, like the fake old Steven and his kid, except it ends with Sam leaving, and Mr. Krieg being a nice old fart. It's supposed to be a compliment, but it's not really sounding like one. Either way, we then see the beginning again, which is interesting when you realize it takes place mostly after all this crazy stuff happening with the lady who eventually gets killed, but we don't see the death right now because, you know, we already saw it earlier. But yeah, we just see that part. Well, one more crazy thing has to happen, because even though he has some Halloween spirit, those dead kids that found Mr. Krieg and kill him kind of off screen, but we also see it in a comic book version. Although it's weird because he didn't actually kill them. Like, one of the kids drove the bus. They were probably gonna die anyway, but yeah. And there's Trick or Treat, which was amazing. Really well done. Good characters. It's very fast-paced. Not as fast-paced as Friday the 13th Part 6, but I like it. Sorry if there's any background noise. But yeah, I'm recording in the middle of the night, so there's that. Yeah.